Hey guys, this is Jeff with Bourbon and Ballz. With
well, Charlie.
yeah, Charlie.
But anyway, so we're here with Castle and Key. So guys, why don't you introduce yourselves, and then we'll talk about your guys' product.
So I'm Will Arvin with Castle and Key and founder and owner.
John Newton, Director of Sales for Castle and Key, and Jeff and Charlie excited to chat with you a little bit today.
Right. So I got to say, I think I've done the whole trail before in my lifetime, and I got to say, your guys' distillery tour, as far as your guys' facilities, it's my favorite. My favorite. I know it's your guys' favorite, of course, but you guys got an absolute wonderful facility down there. Do you guys ever get a chance to? Well, actually, Jeff and I are going to go down there after this interview.
Yeah.
He's never been down there.
Yeah,
so
never been.
He's in for a treat.
Excellent. We'll make sure we've got a round of cocktails on us ready for you.
Okay, all right, very good. So when it comes to your guys' history, people kind of want to know about it. I know we're familiar with it, but tell people at home as far as where it's all started.
So
you want to take this one, or you want me to?
I can come in here. So where we are is in Millville, Kentucky. We're just on Glens Creek, right outside of Frankfort in Woodford County, and we're on 113 acres of an old property that was owned by Colonel Edmund Haynes Taylor.
Yes.
You might have heard of him.
A little bit, yes.
And he built his distillery there in 1887, and he built a castle, a formal sunken garden, English-style garden, a Roman bath type spring house. And it was abandoned in 1972, and that's when we came in, in 2014, to dust it off and bring it back to production and good use. So we've been there now for 10 years and still working to improve the property and making some great spirits as of 2016.
So your guys' property, from what we learned of you guys as far as how it kind of resurrected back in 10 years ago, we listened to another podcast, I think it was on Whiskey Cast, Mark Gillespie, where just the whole genre, or as far as the whiskey, when it comes to Taylor and how it was Dorsey Stagg brought him out of kind of almost bankruptcy, but this place at Castle and Key was his primary, show off to the world as far as what whiskey was all about. The facility itself was pretty astounding. Your guys' offerings, obviously fairly new to the whiskey world-ish. So what exactly, as far as your lineups when it comes to your offerings, what you guys have going on?
Yeah, so, we of course, we do make some spirits that are not whiskey, but being as our site was founded by the bourbon legend Colonel Taylor, it's fitting that we really are kind of like born and bred in bourbon. So Will is a big fan of wheated bourbon, so we knew that always had to be a focus of ours, and we're actually really excited that we're going to have a 7-year-old age-stated wheated cask strength bourbon hitting here in October. It's absolutely delicious. That's a little pour of what you got there. We also have a traditional bourbon mash bill. It's going to be a 73 white corn, 10% rye, 17% malted barley. And then we have our Kentucky rye mash bill, which is going to be a 63 rye, 17 corn, 20% malt mash bill. And all of the whiskeys actually are inspired by a bottle of 1917 Pre-Pro Taylor. That was a barn find down in the area. One of the first pours shared by our founding partners. Will, good job showing a little restraint to be able to hold some of the back. We ran it, sent it to a lab, ran it through a GC. We were able to determine that Colonel Taylor was using white corn. He was doing high malted barley. He was doing low barrel entry. So we weren't trying to replicate Taylor's recipe verbatim, but we were using that as the inspiration point for the modern whiskey that we're making today.
So would you say, because I had your guys' first couple of batches, would that pretty resonate as far as what you just described?
Yeah, absolutely. So we everything we're doing out there is 100% from scratch. We waited to a minimum of 4 years on the first bourbon release, and we're excited too that we're continuing to pick up additional maturity with each release that we put out.
So I will say this 7 year is much different.
Yes.
Much more full-bodied than what I was used to on the maybe batch 1, batch 2 series. to me, it's a difference.
Yeah.
I'm really a nice fan of this one.
Yeah,
and I when does this come out?
October.
So
October.
we're
We're
gonna have
close.
to wait, probably.
We're close.
So,
I mean, we waited 7 years. You can wait 2 more weeks.
yeah, I think so. I think so. We're coming back down in October for Bourbon on the Banks.
Oh,
So,
we'll be there as well.
Will that be a nice release date at that point?
We should have some out there for bourbon in the banks, and we'll absolutely have it at the distillery as well. Right now, we're targeting actually the very last week in September for our home place release, and then it'll be going out in the market the week after that.
It is possible we may be able to find it.
Yes.
When we come back there.
We'll have it there for you.
That'd be awesome.
that'd
I will say this, in full disclosure, like Castle and Key, the first couple of batches, the runs, they were maybe not my jam, just for my palate. But I will say the 7-year one, it's my palate.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's honestly just, part of the evolution of whiskey making too.
Right.
We put this out there. It was a 4-year-old from scratch, age stated bourbon. It was a $45 bottle on the shelf. And I think they did a really good job showing like the beauty of what a younger whiskey could be.
Right.
And, and at a fair price too. And I think we've really been able to maintain that. We're continuing to pick up age. Love to have you guys actually try the most recent release of our bourbon, because it's literally night and day between like batch 1 versus what we're doing now.
That's my next question is, what batch are we on now?
Yeah. So we recycle the batches each year, but it's always going to be, it'll be the year it's released and then the batch. So let me grab a little bit of 2024 batch 1 for you guys.
Okay.
And we'll see how that compares.
Right. So because while you do that,
Perfect.
so to be fair, is that the only time that I kind of went with you guys is is on the batch 1. I'm excited. I actually have a batch 1 bottle that I'm not going to open
really
for sentimental value, right? But I've had
a few of those.
Yeah. So I've kept those, but I had another open batch or open bottle that one of the other co-founders here, Bob, he liked it so much. I told him, have it at the bottle. He's actually a Scotch guy, and he said that's a great, for him, it was a great bourbon entry for someone coming from Scotch.
That high malted barley.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. And that's more his style. I didn't come back from that background, so that's why maybe it didn't resonate with me as much.
I'm kind of a Scotch guy too, so I agree with that.
You and Bob have the same palate.
Yeah.
So come from Scotch, I think Castle and Key is a nice entry proof. I'm not a Scotch guy. Yeah. But now this is the 2024 version.
This is 2024 batch 1. It's coming in at 100 proof. It's at 73 white corn, 10% rye, 17% malted barley.
Okay.
Ooh. Cheers.
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 Sorry, I got excited and I went ahead and I went without you all. All right. So I can't stand corrected on some of this stuff. This is different than match 1. So guys out there who I've talked about you guys in different shades of light, and I would say go out there and give them another try. As far as those who maybe had the same palate I did on batch 1, this is definitely it's more full bodied. It's a little honey.
Yeah,
I get honey out.
Yeah, I definitely get the honey on it. Yeah. Still small batch size, 109 barrels in this release, I believe. And our barrel entry on this one was still like the 107 too, so very low dilution going in at that 100 proof. So I think no chill filtration on anything that we do. So I think that's also where you get a lot of that kind of like texture, roundness, viscosity coming from at the end of the day.
Okay.
So I'm not going to BS you guys, as you guys well know. I would say we're there.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to report that for everybody's sake right here. That 7 year, that I'm very excited. That 7 year, to me, I think that's going to be where it's going to take things to the next level, at least in my opinion.
These things take time, right?
It does.
So we're excited to hit
but what I'm glad that you guys are doing is your guys aren't, as far as your distillate, it's your own distillate, all that stuff. So you're not going out and shortcutting it. So I guess in some ways, a lot of people got to have patience out there.
They do.
Just like bourbon itself.
Yeah.
So you guys could have went the MGP route and just kind of whatever. But you guys chose not to, which it's a risky move.
Right.
But yeah, it seems like it's starting to pay off now.
It's definitely,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the restoration rye.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, can I offer to run and grab one more pour? This is going to be my favorite. All right, I'm grabbing one more. I'm gonna switch this out. I'll be right back.
All right, very good.
Come grow with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times people are hesitant. Even me, and I need people tell me I'm closed-minded a lot, and I need to be more open-minded as far as coming back to maybe what I had before. And honestly, my palate's a lot different than it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's expanded and it's better. I like to say, but.
Yeah, well, it's just like anything else. Everybody grows, everybody changes.
Yeah.
I was not a rye guy. I really wasn't. I couldn't stand it. I thought it was hot, spicy, just didn't want to,
Right.
But then, I can't remember if it was Penelope or it might have been Michter. I can't remember. Kind of kicked me onto the rye. And then I picked up a bottle of this and...
So this is actually my personal favorite pour that we've got here at KBF today. So this was a little a pick that we did. This is our small batch single barrel rye. Barrel entry on this was 118. This one is actually clocked in at 107.7. So we actually lost a lot of proof on this. But some of these barrels where we're losing proof have been my absolute favorites. We're getting a lot of the sugar extraction with a lot of the tannic extraction. So this is almost this like brown sugar, like rye, brown sugar bomb
Definitely
rye
sweet.
whiskey. Yeah.
Definitely sweet on that.
Yeah.
Does not drink like a traditional rye, and definitely not at
Words
one
right out of my mouth.
proof,
I swear.
right?
Had you not said that, I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Because usually it lights you up a little bit. This
Yeah.
is smooth.
Yeah.
What's the percentage on the rye?
63.
Wow.
I would have guessed 51.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, that is very good.
And on the note of rye too, so when we see you guys in October, we'll have another little fun thing to preview. It's going to be our first experimental series whiskey release. It's going to be our cask strength rye finished in Vino de Naranja barrels. Full year in cask on those. It's absolutely delicious. Kind of like pithy orange up front, add a little water.
Okay, so we had a little, it's hot out here, so the camera shut off through some safety reasons. So anyways, real quick, we were talking about, as far as your guys' present day, we're with Castle and Key. Tell us if you guys want to, if you can, what you can. Tease us maybe what's coming up for the future of Castle and Key.
So we won't give it all away because I don't want our marketing team to yell at me too much.
All right, fair enough.
But we do have some Hickory King Corn bourbon that we had custom grown for us. Started laying these down at the beginning of 2017.
Repeat that one more time, because that's a whole, that's a dinner, and that's
yeah. So we have an amazing farm that we work with, Walnut Grove Farms down in Adairsville, Kentucky.
Okay.
Family owned and operated since the 1830s. So they've been doing this a long time. But we partnered with them to grow this Hickory King corn, which is the heirloom grain that we think would have Colonel E.H. Taylor would have been using back in his day. So these are 100% custom grown crops for us. And we have not released any of this whiskey yet. Started laying down in 2017. So you'll just keep an eye out for a very high age stated VIB product at some point in the future.
Interesting.
White corn.
And I love the fact that this is all from scratch too. It's nothing where, and no offense to, and this none take. I hope it's
good
not
whiskey
taken
is
out
good
there.
whiskey.
Good whiskey is good whiskey. But the path you guys are taking, it's an original path, and it's something that you guys can call your own throughout the whole entire process.
Right.
Which I think out there that's what we want nowadays.
Yeah, there's.
All right, so we're back. Not sure where, but we are. We're going to wrap this up. I hope we got some good content for you all. We are going to be back here in October. I'm sure there are going to be some follow-up questions that we may have for you all. I will say this for the record is you guys know how I felt beforehand, and we knew we were doing this interview. I'm going to tell you right now, don't always count people out. I think what they're doing now, especially that 7-year, is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to be one of the first to buy those bottles when it comes out in October. I got a different opinion now as far as where we're at with things, and I respect it only because, not only, but Also because of the fact that they're doing it from scratch and coming to where they're at. They're not taking shortcuts. They're not going to MGP. So that's got to be. I highly respect you guys for doing that.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, and then the takeaway is don't listen to Charlie.
yeah, yeah, that's how that ends.
Okay.
No, it's dark and stuff. All right, so yes, don't listen to me. But anyways, I'm Charlie.
I'm Jeff.
And these guys,
John.
I'm Will.
All right, we'll see you guys next time on Bourbon and Ballz.
Yep. Thanks,
Cheers,
guys.
guys.
For your time.
Thanks very much.
Appreciate it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very nice to meet
Thank
you
you
guys.
very much.
Hey, thanks.